The development of the ego is a tricky thing. From the beginning, you're internally in search of who you are, and your initial introduction to that is through your family or caregiver relationships.
We were never supposed to act like anything bothered us, but we weren't bothered if it bothered somebody else. And I don't know if you saw that, but this doesn't sound like you.
As much as our young ego would like to feel like we are unique from that of our parents and siblings, our pursuit of our individuality is just as futile as it is essential. In this episode, we will be covering the concept of generational curses, why they exist, and what purpose they serve along our life path. This is Channeling Chinez. Hey friends, welcome back to Channeling Chinez. If you are new here, I'm Chinez, and this is the channel where we look at the energy and the spirituality behind many of today's modern life experiences. If you are returning here, thank you so much for staying channeled in, and if you're new here, welcome. Before we get into this video, please also be reminded that any celebrities or public figures used in the depiction of these concepts are for entertainment purposes only. Please help me in keeping everyone safe online as we use these videos to heal and build our individual and collective consciousness. And of course, if you enjoy videos like these, please consider giving it a like and/or subscribing to my channel, as it helps me greatly in the algorithm. The concept of our soul and how we came to this existence is directly linked to our parents and pieces of their souls, and with that, their karma. And for the purpose of supporting our ego desire for individuality, generational curses exist to humble us and to set us free.
Gabor was well known for her opulent Hollywood lifestyle, gorgeous demeanor, and countless marriages in addition to her acting profession. Gabor married 9 men in total, including George Sanders, a hotel tycoon, Conrad Hilton, which made her Paris Hilton's great aunt.
Family pathologies exist and persist as a byproduct of unresolved karma from our generational line, and even from past versions of ourselves. Without a conscious awareness of these ingrained patterns, individuals unknowingly live out certain life experiences that mirror a similar lack of emotional or spiritual growth as their predecessors.
So wild because these sisters were raised to compete with each other and to be, try to one up each other because they were all trying to gain the affection and adoration of their mother. And she would purposefully, pick a favorite at the moment to make the other two feel insecure and then compete for her love. And Exactly. It was just, and so that's why I understand their dynamic now. And I think, if any of them, Kyle's probably the only one that's still, has that need to please. Right. And that's why she kind of is the whipping post to her two sisters. But I think Kathy, being the oldest, I think is probably the one that embodies her the most.
But I was angry that Kyle, because I put it in my head, and you know what? I shouldn't put things in my head thinking and then get disappointed.
You were mad at Kyle
and
for not making
And now I'm embarrassed at myself.
What was I supposed to say to her? You're not allowed to order a different tequila?
So you can disinvite me to your daughter's wedding. That's fine. I don't need to be there. I didn't want to disinvite you.
You do.
I don't. I
don't need to be there.
We experience a series of karmic choices and karmic outcomes, lessons that need to be learned for the first time in our family line, or learned better. This makes what happens in our existence and how we come to react to these happenings somewhat of an improvised script, one orchestrated by the actions of the souls that came before us.
Kathy Hilton and her mother, Kathy Richards, had one thing in common. They had big plans for baby Paris Hilton. Just like Richards encouraged her daughter to marry rich, she also expected nothing but stardom for her granddaughter. It wasn't just Big Kathy who had designs for Paris and later Nikki Hilton. Young Kathy also had every intention of making her daughters famous, just like she hoped to be.
Family behavioral pathologies are a manifestation of this deep soul work. It exists in every soul's journey and is our means to the self-liberation we all inherently seek.
What happened was I apologized to Kyle. I go over to her house. I decide I'm going to make Kyle happy. I am going to apologize to her on camera. Howdy, ma'am.
Howdy, ma'am. Come in.
The flowers for you.
Thank you.
Just came in from the Ponderosa all the way from Cartwright City.
If you've ever wondered why everyone thinks they're in a relationship with a narcissist or something of the like, it's because everyone is. We as a collective have been led primarily by the ego for as far back as most of us can remember. It's because of this that we are all entangled in lifetimes and lifetimes of karma, with each member of your family inserted into different roles. And like any movie you've ever seen, there are specific plot points that individuals must address in order to create a pathway to inner balance and personal wholeness.
You're lying. No, I'm not lying. Kim, you're lying. I am not. You were not in the position at that time to share a mortgage. Talk about your own I don't care what you talk about me. I'm so done with you and your lies. I'm sorry you see it that way. No, everybody sees it that way. Even your closest friends.
Some common karmic curses can be anything from patterns of abandonment, codependency, or emotional suppression.
When I was probably 12 or 13, I had a diary hidden in my room, and one day I overheard my mom with her sisters reading things from my diary about this boy that I had a crush on. They were all laughing, and I was mortified. So like ever since that moment, I just kept a lot in.
I told my mom everything. Nikki's told me everything. My boys tell me everything.
I know it's really hard for her to hear that I didn't tell her about painful, traumatic experiences that happened to me. But instead of being upset about not being told, I wish she could just try to think about it from what I had to go through.
I mean, would you feel uncomfortable to come to me, Nikki?
With what?
Like, if there was something really crazy going on?
No.
So, I mean, you're unusual.
Addiction, violence, and different forms of harm.
It was a known fact that Kathy and Rick liked to party. And when Kathy was a young mother, she had no qualms about flaunting the Hilton name and taking advantage of it.
You better f***ing take that back right now. You better stop right now. Stop it. You are a liar and sick and an alcoholic. Stop. Okay? You are an alcoholic. Yes, that's right.
Or materialism, greed, and many others.
And Mom had to die worrying about you and stressing about you and leave this on my shoulders. After everything that I have done for you, everything I've done for you, I'm always there for you. Everything you've done for me? Yeah, everything I've done for you. You stole my goddamn house!
These are just a few examples of karmic patterns placed in front of us for the express purpose of breaking the cycle. How each individual family member approaches each generational curse will not only dictate their path forward, but also that of any offspring left in their wake.
The little girl, her experience is abandonment.
Yeah.
What's another way of saying abandonment? I'm not one.
Loved.
Not love for sure, but for you it's a little deeper.
Wanted.
Bingo.
Continued dedication to unraveling, identifying, and addressing karma is a forever practice for the awakened, as it is far easier to slip back into old patterns than it is to break them and create new habits.
You're the matriarch. You're supposed to be the safest person to tell anything to.
I feel I am that, which is great.
What generational curses exist in your familial line? How have these things shaped your personality? Have you addressed any of these issues in your personal life? Can you identify any members of your family who have challenged the status quo? Please feel free to share in the comments. Thank you for watching Channeling Chinez. You can stay connected with me at Official Chinez on Instagram and on TikTok. You can also browse my products and services on my website in the link provided for you below. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.